Hello everybody and welcome to today's video. I am going to talk about how my shopping habits are and why I think they're okay and why I don't like them at the same time. I consider myself living quite minimally, and so I don't want to bring too many new items into my home all the time. And also, what's very important to me, I try to live super eco-friendly if possible, so buying new things all the time is not what I'm opting for. I have some rules when I buy new things. It has to be either an eco-friendly product or it has to be secondhand. That does not work all the time. What's for sure a rule is that I will never buy something that is not secondhand and not sustainable if I don't need it. So there are no wants that I'm going to get when they're not sustainable. There's a rule that some minimalists follow, which is one in, one out. That means if you bring something new into your home, you have to make sure to let go something else. I don't really follow that rule super strictly, but I think in general I try to make sure that I don't accumulate more and more, but that it's kind of balanced, or if it's changing, it's getting less and not more. I mean, of course, for example, my microphone, I did not have a microphone before, but I use it for my YouTube videos, so I bought that without letting go of something else. But that's just, yeah, that's something I needed for YouTube videos. That's not a want. That's not just something I think that would be nice to have. So I don't have a problem with like shopping too much or bringing too many new items into my home. My real problem is actually upgrades, or like a better version of something or a different version of something. So I realized that I'm thinking a lot about items that I'd like to replace. And of course you can do that and there's no real harm to it, at least as long as you're only thinking about it. But I spend so much time thinking about, for example, what would be the perfect camera for me, what would be the perfect backpack, what would be the perfect clothing items that I could like maybe have even less individual items because they would be even more multi-purpose or something like that. So I spend a lot of time thinking about things that I'd like to get. And that's actually not how I ideally want to spend my time. So that is kind of my problem with this. So in general, I think it's not a bad thing if you want to buy new stuff and if you can do it in a sustainable way. For example, for myself, I never feel bad for exchanging clothes into my closet if they are coming from a secondhand store and if I bring mine to a secondhand store. So it's just kind of a closed loop and people can exchange their clothing and nothing has to go to waste. But the problem starts when I buy new items and giving my old items to a secondhand store, because I think there are enough secondhand clothing available worldwide. So buying something new with the thought, oh, I can give it to a secondhand store later is not so good. It's not super sustainable. At least for me, that doesn't really make sense. So if I buy something new, it has to be an item that I'm sure I'm going to like use for years. But if I buy something secondhand, I usually pick up things that I think I might like, and then I try them on and I try them out and I wear them a few times, and then sometimes I realize that it's not actually what I hoped it was. So I don't feel bad getting rid of it and exchanging it for something new. Of course, I do spend some money, but usually buying secondhand clothing items is not super expensive. So that's kind of a hobby. That's my kind of shopping that I do now. And that's something I don't actually feel bad for. Of course, you can think as it of me not really being minimalist because I'm changing my clothes all the time. And you can think that of me, I don't care. But for me, it's just the way that it works best. And I mean, the whole idea of this is that I find items that I really love, but I don't see any like purpose in keeping things that I don't actually like just because I have them. I want to find the perfect items for me, but after years of doing this, I think that moment might never come. I don't know what you think about that. Please let me know if you have any thoughts on that topic. Another problem is that even though I think now that the item I want is the perfect item that would like meet all my needs, that would be perfect for years to go, I have no idea what my wants and needs will be in 1 year. Maybe now I think it's a perfect item, but if I have it for a year, I really don't know if I have a different idea of what the ideal closet, for example, would look like for me. A lot of times I have a thought, like I think the perfect combination of camera equipment would be A, B, C, and D. And then if I have it for a while, or sometimes even before buying it, because usually I take months until I actually buy an item, I realize that, but with that setup, that would not be perfect. So actually it's not the perfect setup, and I have to change my idea of my perfect setup again. And I think the thought and the idea of my perfect setup, if it's for clothing, if it's for camera equipment, if it's for traveling equipment or kitchen items, I think it changes over time. So my ideal possessions change when my life changes. And sometimes I don't know how my life is going to change in a few years. So I can never know for sure that an item that I want now is going to be perfect for 5 or 10 years. But I think that's just life. So I have to look what is important to me right now, get that in the most sustainable way possible, and then see from there. And if it changes, my possessions have to change as well. And I think that's okay, at least if I'm not like running around getting new things the second I think of them. Of course, a thing that I think you really should have in mind is trends. But trends are something that I don't think I follow too much. So it doesn't really matter for me. I hardly ever feel the urge to buy something just because it's on trend. Because actually I don't even know what's on trend right now. So I don't think it's a big problem that my possessions change over time. But what I think is a bit of a problem is the time I spend thinking about what I want to have, which new items I want to bring into my life. And that's something I don't like, because I didn't expect it to be like that. I thought once I have this perfect thing, everything will be all right. And now, while practicing minimalism, the same thing happens to me as it happens to a lot of other people who are the opposite. So a lot of people think once I have more money, once I have my new job, once I have a big house, once I have a great car, all my problems will be solved. I don't think that way, because I know that initially, like, more possessions will not make me more happy. But I realize that I do think that the perfect possession would make me happy. And that's not the case. I mean, I'm doing this for years now. And of course, I think it's important to reflect your life and your items, like to make sure that your items serve the life you want to have right now and not the life you had in the past or the life you hope to have in the future, but to make sure that the items you have are good for your present life. But there is no point in being in the same kind of hamster wheel than everybody else is, in trying to find the perfect item only for realizing that it's never the perfect item after having it. So I think I really have to find a way to stop that immense thinking about the things that I want to have. Yeah, I think one way would be, of course, gratitude, but actually I am quite happy and content with the things I have. I am so thankful for all the things I have, because I have actually everything I need. It's just that I sometimes think I want to upgrade things. I want to have another kind of backpack. So it's just that perfect item thing. I don't really know what to do about it, and I will try to not focus too much on thinking about these new items and not being super happy because I want to have the perfect item that I don't have at the moment, because I don't think that this will ever lead to a super happy life. So please give me your tips if you have some, because I would really like to change things in my life, maybe to be more grateful for the things I have and to not just spend so much time thinking about the things that I might want to bring into my life. Thank you for watching, and I hope you have a nice day, and I would like to see you next time. Subscribe if you like my channel and give it a thumbs up if you like this video. Bye!